What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a tier list ranking the different cryptids and how scary it would be to encounter one of them. So let's go ahead and get the tier list pulled up and we'll go ahead and get right into it. Alright, now that we're here, let's go ahead and go over the different categories that they can fall under. Starting off with the bottom, we're going to do trash. These are going to be cryptids that I just don't care for, don't care about, or just doesn't really interest me that much. Going a step up would be tier C, which would be more interesting than scary, whether that be what it could mean by discovering this creature or just I have more questions rather than emotion about being scared over them. A step up from that would be tier B. These creatures are scary to come across, but I'm not gonna have nightmares over it or something like that. And actually, with that being said, they're just gonna get out the way that for all of these, obviously it'd be kind of scary to come across for the most part. So, but it's just kind of having a ranking on just how scary that would be. Separate from that would be terrifying. So these cryptids are ones that I definitely don't want to come across, and if I were to come across them, I would be scared but not frozen necessarily. I would definitely have nightmares about. And then tier S, instant pants change. I'm probably frozen with fear, and I'm also probably never not gonna have nightmares about them. Now that we've gone over that, let's go ahead and get right into the first one. Starting off with the Skinwalker. I'm probably gonna put this one up for now, at least the S tier. For one, I think it would just be terrifying hearing something mimic voice from a past loved one, or just anything really with the whole messing with your mind and stuff, and messing with making things seem real when they're not. That just terrifies me. Also, the idea of seeing an animal not like trot correctly, like say like they just don't know how to walk, like they just something that seems off. Something about being uncanny is really what I'm trying to get at, is just kind of terrifies me. So for the Wendigo, I'm probably gonna put it in more A tier. Granted, it does do mimicking stuff as well, but I view the Wendigo more as a creature based that's revolves around starvation, and a creature that is more mindless rather than something that is conniving and cunning and trying to trick you and deceive you. So it's still very, very terrifying. If I'm in the woods and anything that resembles a Wendigo, I'm out. I'm totally out of there. Is the Chupacabra. I just don't care for it. I just don't. I mean, it's basically a dog that sucks on blood. And yeah, just not, I don't know. It just doesn't really pique my interest that much. So definitely gonna put in trash here. It's not really scary either, and the one that they seem to have found is like the size of like a medium to small dog, so not really that terrifying at all. The MothMan, I'm thinking it's gonna be in C tier. The MothMan is more, I think to me, a little more interesting rather than scary. It's more like a mystery, like what is this thing and why does it always seem to appear right before disasters take place. So a little more interesting. Then again, it would be terrifying to see it and to recognize that it's a Mothman or the Mothman, because that would probably mean that something terrible is going to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it in just C tier for now. Might move some of these around later as we go along. The Jersey Devil, probably scary, but I'll be fine. I mean, visually, it's like a Frankenstein of different creatures, and there's hints that maybe it might be just an outright dragon, which does also sound very interesting. But since it has like that screeching or that screaming noise that it makes, and it is meant to be told as scary stories to children as well, I'm keeping it in B tier. Now moving on to the Goatman. Gonna put it. This one's kind of hard. I'm thinking B tier, maybe above the Jersey. Nah, yeah, maybe above. I think it'd be really creepy to come across that in like the woods or seems like it has a lot to do with railroads for some reason, or bridges. Like one, I think it'd be terrifying to come across that, like in the woods. Like it's like just the implication that it could be like the devil or something like that. Oh man, that's kind of maybe making it more terrifying. I think I'm gonna put in more terrifying. That does sound kind of, yeah, we'll put up here. That'd be horrible. For a lot of times I picture these things like in the dead of night and like you're just alone, and that alone just sounds just terrible. So that's kind of how I'm picturing it, is if I encounter these guys anytime at night and while I'm alone. So yeah, probably put it in terrifying. Now we got the Flatwoods monster. Honestly, I think it's kind of trash. I mean, when you look at what like lore behind it and like what investigators said at the time about it, yeah, I'm not really ranking them pretty high at all. I'm actually gonna, keep it in trash. Not interesting, not really scary either. I mean, the look of how they describe it is kind of creepy, but honestly, it just seems like your eyes played a trick on you. And especially since there's only like really one main encounter of these guys. Yeah, we'll put them there. The Fresno night crawlers. At night, dead of night, seeing this would be terrifying. But I think it'd pique my interest more. I think MothMan's a little more interesting to me, but honestly, it just seems like a pair of pants walking. So, not exactly, having to change my pants seeing that, but it's still scary. But I'm thinking it's interesting. All right, guys, if you guys have been watching this video so far, be sure to leave a like, comment down in the description if you guys are agreeing so far, or if you guys would have put some of these in other places at the moment. So yeah, and any controversial takes I have, if you guys disagree, please again comment down in the description. Any support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys, and let's get right back to the video. All right, next up is the Rake. I'm probably going to put him above the Wendigo, as that it plays a little more into like a sleep demon or a sleep entity, and that for some reason for me that gets me a little more than the Wendigo will. Honestly, actually, I'm looking at it right now. Move this one up here. I think Dogman is a little more terrifying to me than, I don't know, just saying that makes me think it sounds kind of dumb, but I'm thinking if like this image, if I'm able to see that, yeah, I think I'm a little more terrified of that, just slightly above the Wendigo. But anyways, back to the Rake. I think since it plays a little more in your sleep, and like you waking up and you just seeing this creature staring at you would be horrible. So I think I'm gonna put it, above these two. I think this one's gonna cause some issues. I don't know. Loch Ness monster, old Nessi, I don't care about. Honestly, I'm not a water person. I haven't grown up around really much water at all. I'm in the middle of Kansas, so yeah, I'm putting it in trash. I don't really care about it. Now I understand why people would care about it, because I mean there's sightings of it all the time, but to me honestly, it's kind of the ocean version of like the Bigfoot, to be honest. like it's like that creature that everyone just seems to spot, but they can't ever seem to actually like capture or get close enough to. Next up is the Thunderbird. Tempted to put in trash as well, because I don't really care about it as much either. It doesn't really pique my interest as much. We'll put it above here. We'll also put him right here. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I shouldn't put trash. Maybe I should just put it's just uninteresting. I feel like trash is going to offend some people. Okay, up next is the Dogman. I'm gonna have to put it in trash again also. It's not very enticing to me. Honestly, the whole idea of werewolves, when I was younger, it was really cool to me. I thought that was, like, I was obsessed with them, considering that it's kind of very overplayed in movies, and mysterious either. I'm just gonna put it in trash. Probably above the Chupacabra, but behind the Flatwoods monster, just because the Flatwoods monster kind of looks scary, or looks like interesting. Up next we have the Dover Demon. I'm gonna go ahead and put him probably in interesting, since it just makes me think of it's an alien. It looks very similar to an alien, just with glowing red eyes. Also very similar to, at least in my head for some reason, it makes me think of War of the Worlds, with Tom Cruise in it, like those kind of aliens. Definitely more interesting than scary. Again, if I were seen it in real life, obviously I'm gonna be scared. Moving on to the Mongolian Death Worm. I'm probably going to put it in B tier. It's a giant bug. Giant bugs are creepy. The Yeti. Okay, we're gonna put the Yeti in interesting, because, and this is probably gonna go for the Bigfoot as well. Very similar. So we're gonna just go ahead and move the Bigfoot up here. So for the Yeti and the Bigfoot, or any of these humanoid, it just makes me start thinking about, is there civilization? Is there, you start getting into the different conspiracy theories of, like, there's, I don't know, beings living under the crust of the earth and stuff like that. So I think it's just very thought-provoking on, if they were to be real, how are they surviving? Where do they survive at? And so, yeah, and probably putting the Bigfoot right next to him, because it's the same questions. I think I'm gonna put it slightly above, because I don't live in a northern area, and I'm known a lot more about the Bigfoot rather than Yeti. Moving on to the Slenderman. That's gonna have to be an S tier. That's a very creepy being, and with it being tied to like a real life, like murders, or I guess attempted murders. Definitely S tier. Probably below Skinwalkers. So Skinwalkers are just terrifying to me. I love grew up hearing the stories and playing like different games, spin-offs of it. Up next is a Lizardman, particularly in South Carolina. I don't know if it's interesting to me, to be honest. Probably gonna be the back of trash tier. Yeah, I think I don't really care for him that much. The black-eyed children, I'm gonna have to put that in S tier, and honestly, probably above Slenderman. Behind, I'm almost tempted to put it in front of Skinwalker, but yeah, that's creepy. Anything to do with children, honestly, that's just creepy in general. And to know that with it showing up to your door, it's basically saying, hey, yeah, you're about to get, the plague, basically. I could only imagine opening up my front door and seeing a little kid with its just basically like black spots for eyes. I'm shutting the door immediately. I might even punt kick the kid off the guy live on the second story of an apartment complex. I wanted to put an S tier, but honestly, just opening the door and seeing that, I don't think I'm losing everything in my stomach. So I'm thinking terrifying, and honestly, probably the top of A tier. So I think that's where we're gonna put it at. Also, the whole idea that they're gonna be asking to let them in, and the uncanny effect of it. Again, I've already said this before, how Uncanny Valley just kind of gets me. Next is the Beast of Bray Road. Again, I'm going to put it right down here in trash tier. It's another just werewolf thing. Not that interesting to me, to be honest. Up next is the Von Meter Visitor. I want to put in more C tier, because it seems to be more documented. Like, it seems to be a little more grounded in that it was actually seen over the Thunderbird. But again, it's a flying bird. I don't really care. It doesn't really pique my interest. It doesn't really creep me out either. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put it in trash tier. I'm gonna put it above the Thunderbird though. I honestly might put it above all these, just because it's somewhat interesting to me. A little more interesting with how it's a little more grounded in reality. The Loveland Frog Man. Putting it right back up trash tier. It's going straight there. I just don't care about it. Apparently he was waving a, colored wand. I guess there's an account of that. somewhere. All right, up next, the night watchers, or night marchers. Sorry, night marchers. That does sound. I think it's scary, but I don't know if I'll be fine actually. But it's not really terrifying per se. Like it doesn't have like a creepy factor to it, other than it's just ghost. But yeah, so we're gonna put it B tier. Okay, the next one is the Bunyip. I'm going to put it in probably trash tier. It's another water creature, probably right next to the Loch Monster. Okay, then we have the Enfield Horror. Now I'm probably gonna put it in terrifying just because it just looks insane to look. It's just insane to look at. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna put it right back with scary. It's kind of very similar to Jersey Devil. Okay, we got the Batsquatch. Another interesting one. I think I'm gonna group it just with the other humanoid beasts. But this one just flies. So again, above Yeti, but below Bigfoot. Up next is the Ahool. Again, another flying creature. I just does not pique my interest that much. I like the more creepy rather than just animal scariness. Probably gonna put it below the Thunderbird, honestly. Okay, the Tikbalang. I think interesting, and I think I'm gonna put it up there next to MothMan because the lore of it is just like it tricks you and make you go in circles, and it has different forms. Also, if you watch anime, there's a certain anime where that creature kind of looks like like one of the characters in that, or what happens to a character in that. Like, I think it's just interesting that you have to put your shirt inside out in order for it to leave you alone, apparently. Cadborosaurus, another water creature. Probably gonna put it below all of them. Don't really care much about him at all. Not really creepy. I didn't grow up around water again, so it just doesn't really pique my interest either. So yeah, actually, you know what? Here, I'm gonna rearrange some of these. Be right back, because I think in the trash tier should at least be a little bit different. Okay, I just made a few of these. I should put the Loch Monster a little higher up, just because how well known it is, and honestly, it's kind of one of the first cryptids I ever came across growing up. So as well as Bigfoot. Actually, you know what? I think I also want to put Bigfoot up here, maybe even above MothMan, because just how popular it is and what it can mean if it was found. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Yeti back there. I don't really care much for the Yeti either, but the Bigfoot, slightly different. Actually, we'll put some respect on Yeti's name. Put him back there. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking this looks pretty good. So yeah, guys, that's my ranking on how scary or terrifying some of these cryptids would be to come across. Be sure to like and comment in the description if you guys agree, or if you guys will move these guys around just a little bit different. If any of these are from your guys' hometown, or you guys grew up hearing them, please put it on in the comments and, you know, put some respect on their names. Maybe you'll be able to change my mind. All right. See you guys in the next one.